What's going on, y'all? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What up? What up? What up? Welcome to another episode of the CM Show. Y'all, you see the shirt today. Just don't quit, aka do it. The reason why I'm wearing this is because, y'all, it has been one hell of a month. And we are just 23 days in. We're in the 8th month of the year. However, we are also in Zodiac, in Virgo season. Y'all see I got the coffee tonight because your boy needs some fuel. Woo! Your boy needs some fuel. Let me do that audio check. All right, we good. We good. We are good. All right, let's get a little housekeeping out of the way as we always do. Shout out to my sponsor, the Black Candle Box. As always, y'all make sure that you support that business. Support her at theblackcandlebox.com. Make sure you check her out and use the promo code the CM Show. Tonight, y'all, we're gonna jump right into it. Tonight we're gonna be talking about Virgo season. So tonight it's all about them Virgos. So let's talk about Virgos, right? What are the Virgos? First of all, we are literally in the first day of Virgo season. A damn T. Let me say what's up to my people in the chat. If this thing is working, right? Okay. I guess we got a little bit of delay again, but it's all good. So let's talk about the Virgos. What does it mean to be a Virgo? As always, let's talk about the signs first and foremost. What is a Virgo, right? So we have so those are the signs. Now, let's talk about the polarities, how those signs that gravity. So that is just a real base difference between the two signs. Let me do that real quick. Change that up a little bit. And okay, of course my phone wants to die. That's not good. And that's not good either. Ooh, oh snap! I forgot to do that on Facebook. Hold on for my Facebook people out there. Hold on a second, y'all. Got to get a few things locked in. I definitely want to make sure I got my people on Facebook in the chat. Y'all hold on one second. As y'all know, every week, every show is not just on broadcast live on YouTube, but it's also on Facebook as well. So I'm trying to, I'm not trying, I'm working on getting getting us look in on, let's see, on, what's the other platform? Instagram as well. Instagram Live. So that way when I do simultaneously broadcast on all three. So that is in the works. So stay tuned while we get that stuff worked out. Hold on a second. Let me get us locked into this. Get this going. Mm, 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 mm. And how's y'all's week been? Y'all let me know how y'all's week has been too. Make sure you put that in the chat for me. Here we go. That's not it just yet. Live video is ended. And especially if you're a Virgo, definitely put that in the chat for me. I definitely want to talk to my Virgos out there. Because y'all, like I said, my son is definitely a Virgo. And okay, well, there we go. So we are good to go. Sorry about that, y'all. Had to get that lined up, locked and loaded. What up, Lorenzo? Thanks for joining the conversation, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all, you see the shirt, as I said, just don't quit. Normally I don't wear t-shirts on this show, but today has been one of those days, and it has been one of those weeks. So I definitely been working on that motivation today, staying motivated, staying on it, and also staying consistent. So speaking of consistency, that's one of the things that Virgos are actually known for is their consistency. Mad at that? He is damn sure not modest. That little boy there is not modest at all. So those are some of the traits of zodiacs. Get my notes together real quick. Now, usually you know that I have Pure Bliss. She is the I going to be holding it down tonight solo as far as getting into the traits of the Virgos. So let's talk about the traits of Virgos. All right, let's talk about them. Let's talk about some of the things that are consistent when it comes to Virgos. All right. Now, like I said, my son is definitely a Virgo, and one of the first characteristics of 7 is with a Virgo, if you give them space, or excuse me, you have to give them space. Hovering over them all the time is a total annoyance. Now, that kind of goes for most people in general, but definitely with one, and I'm gonna keep referencing my son because that obviously is a Virgo that I know well. Pretty much, I've known him for a long time, damn near his whole life. Yeah, I've known him his whole life, right? So that trait right there, that little fucker, when I tell you that is him to a T. Now, I guess that's most people in general. It's like, yo, man. But there are some people that need you to be close. They need that they need you to be in their vicinity, in their orbit, because that's how they move. So that's definitely not how I am. Definitely not how he is. Yeah, that's definitely not him at all. And I think that applies for most Virgos as is. Number 2, they look up everything to find out everything they need to know. Again, that is him. That is him. That is him. And I think that I actually kind of respect that about him and just Virgos in general, because there's one other person I am racking my brain. I wish I thought about it before I went on the show tonight. But she was essentially the same. Who was that? Bridget? I can't. Anyway, I cannot remember. No, she was an Aries. But anyway, she is. Let me see something here. Hold on. All right, so let's look at that. Number 2, they look up everything to find out everything they need to go. That second trait, which is they look up everything they need to know. Now, I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day, and me and him, we were chopping it up about how there is no excuse for you not having information about something that you are interested in. So if there's an endeavor that you want to get into, or something that you want to do, like me, for instance, I'm working on a few things when it comes to my career. I'm working on expanding, I'm working on improving, I'm working on just different aspects of that. I don't want to say too much about that, but if you want to do it, then there is no excuse for you not to. Between YouTube, between Udemy, between just your network, there's information out there. So if there's something that you want to get into, if it's like me, you're working on your career. If there's some the buddy of mine that we were talking to, he wanted to get into trucking, into transportation. I was part of his network. I was in transportation, whether it's trucks or planes or whatever the hell it is. I was in transportation for damn near over 20 years. So he leaned on me as far as the resource, that knowledge base. So the same thing, is as you see right here, where it's like, if there's something that you need, you look it up. And Virgos are definitely more adept at doing that because they are logical people. So in other words, when they move with information behind them. When they want something, they get after it and they get the information that they need. The third characteristics of Virgos is not finishing what they start boils their mind. Y'all, this is probably one of my pet peeves, and I damn sure I'm not a Virgo, so I can only imagine, how it would make a Virgo feel. And if this is true, if this is a characteristic that's real, yeah, I get it. I rock with this one all day. Y'all, if you start something, finish it. It's not that hard. If you start something, finish it. I say it again. If you start something, finish it. there is, maybe this is something I just learned from the, when I, well, not just in the army, but it's one of the things from when I served in the military. One of the things that you had to do when you get up, you made your bed, right? Once once you did that, it's like you close the chapter on the bed, as it were, sleeping, whatnot. So it's like, okay, you know that you're transitioning into the active part of your day. But if your bed isn't made or whatever, not only does it make the room not look neat, but it also, to me, means that there's something that's incomplete. One of the things that I used to enjoy, or one of the aspects of when I was a driver, when I used to drive trucks or whatever, one of the things that I really enjoyed about that job compared to all of the other things I've done in my life is that with that job, it is one of the few things that you do where there is a true sense of finality. Okay, meaning the job is done. Like right now, with even with real estate, yes, you close the deal, the house is theirs, whatever, but you're still getting phone calls. Hey, this isn't done, or what do I do? Even after the sale. And I mean, that's the part of it that I love. I mean, just reaching out, making sure that people are moving forward with their home, but there isn't really a sense of finality, as it were, because there are times I reach back out to that customer and be like, hey, what's happening? You good? I need a referral. I'll let your boy, that kind of thing. But when it came to driving trucks, once the truck was empty, once the trailer was empty, the job was done. Once the trailer was loaded, the job was done. I knew that, okay, everything's on the trailer, doors locked, boom, let's hit the road. The job, that aspect of the job is done. When the trailer's unloaded, the job is done. There's something about knowing that once the job is done, once the job is complete, that feeling of completion, as it were, okay, is there's just something positive about that. So I definitely can rock with that particular characteristic, that trait of Virgos. All right. So again, with number 3, not finishing what they start boils their mind. All right. The fourth trait of Virgos, the fourth characteristic of Virgos is they're more sensitive than they appear. Lord knows that is my son. I know he's gonna be like, damn, Dad, I mean, keep talking about me, man. Anyway. With him, and the other Virgo, like it's like I see the person, but damn it, I cannot remember. Anyway, they're just more sensitive than they appear, and that can be good. That can be problematic as well. And the reason for that is this. And especially with us dudes, a lot of times, we have to be stoic, we have to be strong, we can't necessarily present weakness. So that's one of the many reasons why I'm always talking about therapy, because just because you present that hard exterior, when you got a lot of stuff going on the inside, it's easy for you to be misunderstood, and it's easy for your feelings to be overlooked. So there are a lot of people that are sensitive on the inside, just gooey as all get out, even though that exterior may be rock hard. So it's one of those things where even though you may be a sensitive person, having that safe space, having someone or someone's, a good solid network of friends or family that you can turn to where you can be sensitive, you can be vulnerable, that is actually something that, you definitely need in general, but especially Virgos in particular. Number 5. If they got paid for every time they worried, they'd be beyond rich. Shit, is that just a characteristic of Virgos or just everybody in general? Now, well, some people just don't give a shit, so I guess it does make sense. You know what? And speaking of which, I forgot to say that as I listen to my potty mouth. I know it's a little late, but hey, let me make sure I put this warning up. This is an adults only show, so your boy will be saying some stuff. So let me put it out there. This is an adult show. So, hey, if you are sensitive and it's like, oh, my Lord, how could he say that? Yeah, this might not be the show for you. So I'm just putting it out there. Even though we're already in it, I'm just letting you know that, hey, we're going to say some stuff. All right. And in fact, hold on. What it do, Cheryl? Thank you for joining the conversation. Appreciate you hitting me up tonight. Tonight's show, as you can see for everybody that just joined the chat a little bit late, is about Virgo season. So tonight we're talking about Virgo season. So if you know a Virgo, if you are Virgo adjacent, meaning you're in relationship with somebody that's a Virgo, or you may have a sibling, or a child, or whatever the case may be, I definitely want to hear from y'all tonight. So one of the things that we're talking about are the 7 characteristics of Virgos. The first characteristic was if you give them space. In other words, if you hover all over them, that is a total annoyance. The second characteristic is they look up everything to find out everything that they need to know. They ain't gonna just take your word for it. Let me just hit up that goggle real quick, that goggle, aka Google, and they're gonna get that information for their damn self. Number 3, not finishing what they start boils their mind. It is a true frustration for a Virgo for them not to complete a task. Number 4, they are more sensitive than they appear. Boy, if that ain't my son. Number 5, if they got paid for every time they worried, they'd be beyond rich. I think that's just our society in general, man. When I tell you, it's like we have so much stuff going on in our society, so much anxiety, so much, all the stuff that we have going on. I mean, think about it. We had a couple years worth of the beer virus, aka COVID, and now all of a sudden you got monkeypox, and here it is. We're getting ready to go into another flu season as fall and winter approaches. And, of course, we got you name it. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So, man, when I tell you there's a whole bunch of stuff to be worried about. However, one thing you cannot do is you cannot let your anxiety, dictate your actions. That's something my therapist told me. He's like, hey, don't let their anxiety control your actions. And those are words that I've been living by. Life is going to life. All you can do is make the best of it, be as strong as you can, and keep pushing through. Speaking of pushing through, let's push through these characteristics. Number 7, everyone loves them because they don't fake it for anyone. I wish I don't have that picture digitized, but I have one picture of my son with his one of his homeboys at the time. They may have been 3, and they were playing t-ball. When I tell you that little boy, my son had this look on his face, and he wasn't crying. He was just pissed because he didn't want to do it. 3 years old, and he wasn't faking it for nobody. It's like I'm doing everything I can to get that little fucking smile for the picture, and he would not do it. He was not going to fake it, and he is like that to this day. If he don't rock with you, if he don't fuck with you, hey, he's not rude about it, but he's just like, hey, I'll fall back. But if he rocks with you, he rocks with you. He's cool with you, and he's good to go. And he's also just a good person to be around. I think most of the Virgos that I do know, especially the one that outside of him that I know, definitely had that same thing. They were, quote unquote, as real as it comes, and they were just he was just that kind of dude. So that is definitely a trait that I know is real when it comes to Virgos. They don't fake it. And the last characteristic, or at least that I came up with, was they know if they like someone in a matter of minutes. Now, I don't know if this is just necessarily something of dudes in general, men in general, but I know this for sure, when it comes to him and, Virgos in general, that the couple that I do know is that it don't take long for them to realize, all right, you cool, you're not. You don't have to build up, and keep, have to spend time with you. It's like, all right, if you real with them, it kind of goes back to number 6. If you're real with them, they real with you, and they cool with you, all right? But they know if they don't like you, it's just something instinctive, something innate. They're like, yeah, they give you that side eye, and they kind of back off. So that one is definitely 100% true. So again, those are the 7 characteristics of Virgos. Now, I had another thing here, and for the life of me, it will not come up. All right. Now, a couple things about Virgos, basically on the surface, right? Virgos are humble, self-effacing, industrious, and practical. All right. But under the surface, because now let's go back and look at those terms as well. Okay. with obviously with Virgos, I mean their sign is shit. It is all about purity, right? It's all about purity. So again, I just dropped the link for the in Zoom. So I want to hear from y'all. Like I said, if you are a Virgo yourself, I definitely want to talk to my Virgos out there. I really want to talk to y'all. Okay, got that going. Cool. Definitely want to talk to y'all tonight. I know I really didn't do a lot of promoting the show tonight, or at least the last couple weeks. I don't know, y'all. It's one of the things that I always say about this show is that it's really therapy for me. And that's why a lot of times I get on here and I just start rambling about shit that ain't got nothing to do with the actual topic of the night. And one of the reasons for that is got a lot of stuff going on in my personal life as we all do. So even if we get off topic a little bit tonight, I really want to hear from y'all as well. When I do these shows every week, it gives me a chance to really just unwind, to basically talk to y'all, to basically just talk out loud. I think that that's one of the benefits of therapy, and especially if you have a good therapist that's able to get you to talk, to open up, because I think that in our society, even though that we are connected, I say this all the time, we are so interconnected. People can reach out and touch one another in so many different ways via email, text, DM, Facebook, or any social media post, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever, FaceTime, all of that good stuff. We are able to reach out and touch each other. Nothing wrong with what, ma'am? What do you mean by that? And it's like we're able to just reach out and touch each other. So, but the more that we are interconnected, the less connected that we are. For instance, the word friend has kind of lost the gravity that it used to have. And we have mixed up the word friend, or confused or conflated the word friend with associate. Think about it. I have 1,000 friends on Facebook. No, the hell you don't. You don't even know half of them people. But you look at your friend count. In fact, there was one point in time I was like, damn, I only got X amount of people. So those aren't necessarily your friends, even though that's the term that is used. So it's one of those things that people don't necessarily have true friends. for instance, I'm looking at someone right now that is a true friend to me. I've known this person since I was 18 in the army. I mean, so there is no ifs, ands, or buts that, that is a friend of mine. We've rocked together for a long time, you know? So that's where you know that there is real friends. So saying all that to say, we aren't necessarily, even though we are more connected with each other, right? Even though, we can live chat, we can live stream, we can chat, we can do all of these things. We're not necessarily as connected as we once were. And, it's like Cheryl said, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Talking about whatever is therapy. Yeah, we all need that therapy or some kind of therapeutic approach. For instance, one of the things that I've started doing, and shout out to Pure Bliss, is, she's been working with me on certain, basically self-care. Like, she's giving me a bunch of mantras for me to do throughout the day in order to just be get for a stronger version of myself, essentially, right? So those are things that we need to do. Now, this show, like I said, there are times, like, even right now I'm just rambling, right? But it's been a pretty rough week for me, right? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's been a pretty rough month. So this is an opportunity for me, and I'm lucky that I have it. Even, yes, I made the opportunity by putting this show together. But it allows me just to talk to y'all. When I see the stuff that you say, when the stuff that's on my mind, even though it ties into, Zodiac season, that is very therapeutic for me, especially with all the other shit that I've got going on in my personal life. Yeah, man, I need this. Y'all, I need this a lot more than you can ever imagine. I need this. Just dropped the Zoom link. So again, if you want to join the conversation, why is this thing not posting? And that's something else too. This show, man, somebody's asked me, like, how do you put this together? How do you put this together? That kind of ties back into the characteristics of Virgos. But if you look at characteristic number 2, the same person that I mentioned earlier, I was talking to them and they were like, man, I want to do this, I want to do that. They were talking about, hey, I've been thinking about writing a book, and there's just something about that just gets on my damn nerves. It's like, stop thinking about it and just do it, And you see the shirt, just don't quit. I'm gonna keep referencing the shirt because, y'all, this show, consistency. However, what I'm saying is this. We were talking about writing a book. We were talking about, changing careers. We were talking about putting action into your different endeavors. In other words, the things that you want to do, how can you do them? What is it going to take for you to do them? And we're literally, this show right now is streaming on YouTube, streaming on Facebook. And if you want to do something, somebody out there has done it. You're not reinventing, you're not coming up with something brand spanking new that nobody has ever thought about before. There are plenty of people that do podcasts. There are plenty of people that do live streams. Now, the thing is, how can you make it unique? How can you make it your own? How can you add your own spin to it? How can you make it work for you? But the bottom line is, just like you see that second characteristic of Virgos, and it's something, like I said, that I always talk about in our society right now. There is no excuse for you not to be able to do something. If you want to do something, there is a resource out there for you to do it. And that's one thing I do respect about Virgos. Like my son in particular, that trait, that one right there, is definitely him. His birthday September 21st, so he is right on the cusp of, I forget the next sign that's up, but that's something that he does. He has been bugging the hell out of me for a damn charger, but he's not just like, hey, Dad, I want a charger. When I tell you, this little boy does research on chargers. So he is looking them up, and every so often I get a text. Hey, what do you think about this one? Like from Auto Trader or something like that. Let me see if I can find one that he sends me every so often. And I, my response is always an emphatic no, because that it just ain't gonna happen. But let's see. Here's one right here. All right. Dad, what about this one right here? And it's like, no, So what I'm saying all that to say this, he doesn't. It's not a matter of he just says, hey, I want this. What he does is he researches it. He looks it up. When he was a kid, right? When he was, I'd say about 4 or 5. No, younger than that. When he was 2, I saw something about him in that he was a collector and he was into Hot Wheels. So he had a whole huge collection of Hot Wheels. So whenever we went out to a store, whatever, Walmart or, whatever store sold those Hot Wheels, he would go to the toy section. But in his mind, he knew exactly which ones he already had. And so he knew which ones he needed. So he would move he moved the racks aside. All right, I want this one in specifically because he would research the ones that he actually wanted. Then he got into what's a damn train, Thomas the Tank Engine, or whatever the hell that thing is. So he wanted those, and at that time, that's when he was able to manipulate a tablet, computer, etc. So he was able to go on. He would ask to go on the website. He was probably 5 at the time, maybe 4. So he'd ask to go onto for us to put it onto that particular website. Then he would start researching which ones that he wanted. Okay, I want this one. So we would, got that one. Then, so saying all that to say, he does the same thing that he did as a child. So I know as a toddler. So I know that this particular Virgo characteristic is real because that is him. So, like I said, if you know any Virgos that do this, I definitely want to know, especially on when the restream. I want to hear from my Virgos out there if that is something that you guys do, or is that just him? I want to say that it's on y'all though. I do want to say that. Let's see. In fact, let me go back over these traits one more time, because these are actually pretty fascinating to me. When I was doing show prep and came across these, I was just like, damn, that's accurate as shit. All right, number 1, give them space. Hovering over them at all times is a total. Let me do it this way. Give them space. Number 1, give them space. Hovering over them all the time is a total annoyance. All right, number 2, they look up everything. They look up everything to find out everything they need to know. In other words, they do their research. And that's something that everybody screaming back in the day when COVID first came out. Do your research. Anyway, number 4, they're more sensitive than they appear. Going back a little bit to what... Oh, that hurt. Going back a little bit to what I was talking about as far as therapy or whatnot, man. Even though people are more sensitive these days for a lot of different things, I think that we don't necessarily address that sensitivity the right way. So even though this may not necessarily just be a Virgo thing, but just people in general, y'all, that's definitely something that I think that our society does need to definitely work on. Okay, definitely needs to work on those things. Let me see something right here. Hold on. All right. You're right, Cheryl. Number five. Cheryl said, those are great tricks. Most people learn those skills as an adult. You damn sure have to. Lord knows you do. Number 5, if they got paid for every time they worried, they'd be beyond rich. Again, that kind of ties back into that sensitivity thing. We have so much to worry about in this society, and man, let's see what we got. Number 6 is everyone loves them because they don't fake it for anyone. That is something I wish that a lot more people would do. You hear people, we're talking about, doing it for the gram, or just, putting on, it's all about the act. It's not real. There's a little bit of performative things. We live in a reality show era. And it's like a lot of people they aren't necessarily real. It's all about the show. So that's something I really, really wish more people did that. All right. And last but not least, we have Virgos know if they like someone in a matter of minutes. They don't need to take a whole bunch of time to be like, hey, you know what? You cool. No, they know fairly right off the bat either you're cool or you're not. So that's one thing I definitely do appreciate about those Virgos. All right, y'all, we're gonna wrap this one up because I'm looking at the clock. Next week's show, we are going to be talking about flued out. There have been a few things that have been popping the last couple weeks. Different things that have happened where people getting flown out and women just, were expected to give out the panties and all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to talk about that. What are the rules and, regulations when it comes to getting flued out? What is flued out protocol for my fellas? What is it that you need to do to make sure that all expectations are clear if you are flying someone out? And for my ladies, if you get flown out or flued out, do you understand what some of those requirements are? We are going to be talking about that next week when the conversation is going to be about flued out. We're going to be talking about that. This Friday, we're going to do a free-for-all Friday this week. And I'm still working on the topics, but as I always do every Friday, it's basically a show where we, it's not really a topic per se, but we just talk about all of the things, a few of the main things that have been popping in pop culture, especially Black culture, Black Twitter. So that's what that show is about. We're going to be doing that again next Friday. Let's see. As always, y'all, you know that the links to my books are below. So if you have not already purchased a copy, make sure you pick them up. So just wanted to say, man, thank you for joining the show tonight. I really didn't do a lot of promoting of it, so I'm sure most of y'all like, damn, is he doing it? But yeah, we definitely going to be doing this every week. Like I said, next week we're going to be talking about flued out. So make sure that you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, please and thank you if you have not already done so. So if you haven't already done so, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. I will see y'all next week. Y'all have a great week, and y'all make sure that you keep yourself up. Stay motivated. I know it's a lot going on, but I'm going to say it one more time, just don't quit. Stay at it. Keep moving. Y'all have a good one. Stay determined. See y'all next week.